This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday as it's hump day. We're going to have all the things going on today, and we're going to talk about it. Of course, get into Razorback basketball, continuing on from last night. Look into some Razorback football and the coaching search and the latest madness and chaos that I'm sure is ensuing from that. We'll get some of your chats, get to your heavy hitters, but it's going to be going down all today on a Wednesday. But fellas, it's a Wednesday, so how are the vibes here on the midweek?
I'll tell you this right now, guys. If what I'm hearing is true, wow, Arkansas.
Man.
Wow. Game-changing, life-altering stuff coming for Razorback football. If what I'm hearing is true. I can't say what it is, but if what I'm hearing is true, I'll let you know, and it's going to be crazy.
Well, look, you guys are going to have to hold me accountable because and Curtis doesn't help with he's a bad influence. I just have a real tendency, like I'm feeling the itch to troll today a little bit, and it seems like today is just a peak day for trolling. So should be fun. I literally was getting my tire. I had to get a tire fix, so I went to Walmart like everyone normal does. And even the guy at the tire store was like, "I'm hearing a lot of stuff about that Penn State coach. I don't know, man. I think there's some buzz." And I'm just like, man, this is peak coaching search season.
Man, is it ever? Like, it's been coaching search season, as we know, for a while. We've talked about it a lot. We've looked at making cases for different coaches, all of these things. But guys, yesterday, especially late last night, was the first time I felt like truly in this coaching search that we have gone full clown shoes in the entire thing. It's like we're sitting there at the basketball game watching it. And of course, the Discord's getting tagged me. And it's just like, so, hey, John, what do you think about this? Well, hey, what are you hearing? What's the latest? And I feel like it's something that just got to another level of stupid. Just another level of stupid. And now you're starting to see random things, not any national guys, not anything of note, but just some random deals, like the guy who covers the Florida Gators of On3 on their message board saying, James Franklin's picking up steam. And people are running with that in a crazy way. But what really started it, guys, as I wanted to pull it up so everyone has reference, was, of course, our friend Brandon Walker. Because this is what he tweeted last night or this morning or whenever it is. I guess 1:04 in the morning. Oh, my goodness, Arkansas football. Wow is all I can say. That would be impressive. This was the fire that just got started. So, I mean, guys, I know we've been texting back and forth in our group, in the Discord, talking with it. Just what's going on here? That's what everyone. What's happening? What's the latest?
You tell me. You're sauced up here, John.
Man, sauced up with all the nuggets.
What did happen? Like 7 different accounts saw that Brandon Walker tweet and were like, "Let me fire off my own version of this tweet." And so they were all there was like a bunch of vague tweets coming from anonymous accounts that were like, huge for Arkansas if what I'm hearing is true. And, now it's just kind of the popular thing. And so everyone's kind of rolling with it. What's funny is how many people have seen these kind of tweets and have been like, oh, so this definitively means it's blank. James Franklin. This definitively means it's John Gruden. This definitively means it's whatever. Then you have the one guy, Curtis, I forget.
Man. I don't know which name he was going to refer to. See if you can guess it real quick before he comes back.
But it reminds me of portal season. It's eyeball emoji season, Yeah. And one person puts them out there and then everybody's eyes are getting real big and they're starting to see something. Who was it that you were talking about, Andrew? You said you couldn't remember his name. The guy
that was like, he said a 4 out of 10 on the splash meter.
Oh yeah. Curry Hicks, Sage. And he's some burners you don't take seriously. Which I guess he's kind of revealed himself or whatever, but like, Trilly Donovan for basketball, it's like, all right, this dude is plugged though. When it comes to coaching search stuff, Curry Hicks is also now way more so basketball than football, but I did find that to be very interesting when he was putting it out there. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about this though. I really am, because this has been such a long, drawn out thing. And you knew this was coming at some point because people are so starved for information And it's kind of like, John, I know you've talked about it in the Discord and we've talked about it. Like, it's not a deal where every 30 seconds or like every time you just hit somebody up and say, hey, what's the latest? What's the latest? That there's always something new, especially when it's such a long ass drawn out process like this is. And we're getting closer and closer to some of this stuff being real. And I love that we're just having this chaotic kind of 24-hour period here of, oh yeah, word's starting to get out. You know, it's going to be this guy. They're going to announce it in 2 weeks. They're going to announce it tomorrow. Everybody already knows, but nobody can say. I love this stuff, man. So like, let the rumors go, because what's going to happen here, or at least my theory is, this smoke starts getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And you're going to get the guys who can really go and get some information from agents or other coaches or people in the industry, like some of these national guys, like, or Marcelo or somebody like that. They're going to be like, all right, let me really dive in and see what's going on here. And then we're going to get like a tangible update, not a Pete Nakos. Well, the name that's coming up most often with Arkansas is Ryan Silverfield, but somebody who actually can really get in there and do some digging, and then we might actually get something good.
Which is a great point. And it's why I think if you're like desperate for an answer, I don't think you'll have to wait that long. Not saying that there's going to be an announcement, but like if 24 hours go by starting right now, if we are doing the show tomorrow and there's been just like no type of report, no type of anything from any of those national guys, I think you can safely assume that was kind of a made-up deal. Because I would imagine after Brandon Walker's tweet, after all these random SEC burners are tweeting out stuff, I would imagine the Marcellos, the Pete Thamels, all these heavy-hitting national guys, Bruce Feldman, whoever, I would imagine they all started digging crazily, talking to everyone they possibly could. And I would imagine if they dug and found something, we would be seeing that in the next 24 hours. And like we've said countless times, usually when you start hearing the smoke, it doesn't, like, we didn't hear about Calipari until it was pretty much done, you know? And so if you're having this much smoke, that usually means it's almost done. But the problem is this smoke is coming from very unreliable sources at the moment.
Yeah. And I think what people have to understand too, and to you guys' point, it's like, it's a floodgate mentality. It's in this day and age with social media, with the amount of people that may or may not be in the know. Like, yeah, we'd like to sit here and, you know, look at coaching searches and see that this is a slow leak. And you bring up the Calipari hire. Wes Moore, the unsung hero, was the one that first tweeted about John Calipari. And what happened in the next hour? Whoa, just everybody was on top of the story. Like, everybody was on top of the story. And it's kind of the same thing with this, which obviously, yeah, John Calipari is still one of the craziest coaching changes news ever. So it will be to that level, no. But if there was some validity to it, you know, somebody's going to be talking. Somebody's going to be, whether it's a cousin, a wife, a friend of the coach, a friend of the agent, like there's somebody's going to be leaking something. And to where all of these national guys, because I think you brought it up, Curtis, like that's what they want. They want to break the story. They're just desperate. They would do anything if they could be the one to break the story. So they're not going to sit on anything. And that's why I find this so funny. And because it is funny to me. Like, you want to get the coach in there, you want to get the right person, but it's funny because of how many people are just locked in, where it's like, what's going on? What's changed? Well, you know, nothing's really going on. Anything? No, something is going on. I want to know what it is. Why? Well, why do you think something's going on? Because of Twitter, and this person over here said something, and then, you know, I know you know something. You're saying some stuff, and you're not saying what. And then it causes so much chaos, and it's, again, hilarious because if something happens, you're going to know about it. Like, this day and age, nothing is held secret anymore. You're going to know about it quickly. It's just fun to see the reactions to everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And so, do I believe that could Arkansas be like closing in on somebody? Sure. Yeah. Could they have it narrowed down? Sure. Could all the chips be pushed in for one guy? Yes, I believe that all those things could be true. But the thought process that they've had their guy for weeks, they've made the hire, and that they're holding off on announcing it, that I just cannot get behind. Loose lips sink ships, man. Like, that's just not how it works in this profession. When something's done, it's done. It comes out there. I'd just be really, really surprised if that was the case. It would be almost unprecedented. And here's my thought process on it. I like this from SWA Hog. It says national guys can't sit on draft picks for a minute and a half. They won't sit on a huge coaching change. That is 1,000% true. So what we would have to assume here is that everybody involved in this hiring process for the University of Arkansas is either completely in the dark about who they're hiring, or that they're all just not telling the wives, not telling the family, nothing, just completely lip sealed across the board. And that everybody involved on the other end, the coach, his camp, his agency, everybody, nobody at all is talking to any national sourcing out there who's vetting them every single day about this. Nothing. That all of a sudden Arkansas is the coaching search that becomes the best kept secret in modern history. Maybe I'm like, I guess anything's possible. Kevin Garnett taught me that, but I don't know, man. It just seems a little bit too far-fetched for me right now.
Yeah, and that's why it's like because I agree with your sentiment, and if we are going to be proven wrong, it would need to come like pretty immediately for it to kind of have some legs and be a real thing. I just can't help but notice that there's been a lot of different people on the internet, on message boards, chats, Twitter, whatever, Discord, that have kind of played their hand at trying to predict this coaching search thing. And they've all kind of used random arbitrary deadlines of, this thing's going to happen on Tuesday. This thing's going to happen next week. This thing's going to happen this week. And a lot of those deadlines are like whenever, you have the Mike Irwin thing where it's like they have their coach, but they're going to do it on Missouri week. It's all these random weird little deadlines. And so I think as these deadlines start to creep up, you start having the guys who, have made this living of like, I'm a source guy. Now they have to come up with something because they're like, okay, if something might go down this week, I have to say something just to get in front of this. And so I think you're seeing a lot of guys scramble to try and they think it's about to go down. And so they're scrambling, trying to get their prediction in. And it's all based on an arbitrary deadline made up by someone last week. And so it is just kind of funny to see how this thing escalates. But I do think once some of these, again, random arbitrary deadlines made up by people on the internet, once they pass and nothing happens, I think there'll be a lot more of a kind of sigh of relief from the fan base a little bit.
Well, the day after the deadline that Hunter Yurachek was going to get fired, he was meeting with a bunch of powerful money people before the Razorback football game, and then we're a week past the extended deadline for him to get fired. So,
Well, let me. Because I'll tell you this, guys, and I know you know it, but it's like anytime there's stories or anything in life, you can always see something that you're like, that's fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just something about, regardless of what all else is there's like a little hint of something, and you're like, yeah, that's not true. That's how I feel about deadlines when it comes to coaching searches. That is not a thing. I'm using this as an example. I'm not saying this was said, but if somebody's like, James Franklin has to make a decision on Arkansas in the next 12 hours, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, because nobody is sitting back at Arkansas being like, we want James Franklin. We want James Franklin. He wants to be our guy. We want him to be our coach here. We offered it, but James, we're giving you until 8 p.m. tonight to make a decision. Central Standard Time, mind you. And if you don't make a decision, we are walking. That's not how it works. That's not how this works. And so that's always the first thing when anybody says there's a deadline. I remember that with Gus Malzahn in 2017. There are certain reporters, which is always funny because this guy's always wrong locally. But he was saying, he's like, Gus Malzahn's been given a 5-hour deadline. I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. This is dumb. Stop. So that should just be a warning to all of you. You're not going to listen to me, but a warning to all of you. If you see any quote report or anything that's about a certain amount of hours or a deadline, odds are it's not true. Like you said, Andrew, it's just made up. Now it may be something to where, hey, we expect to hear back from this person in 12 hours, or we expect to have the counter offer or whatever in 12 hours. But as far as just like, you got to make your decision or else, that's dumb.
The only way that could be a thing is if you're in like nut cutting time on hiring, like the season's over and other teams are starting to make their move, the portal's coming up, and you've been waiting, and you have your plan B like ready to go. Like he's sitting there at the table saying, all right, can I sign? Otherwise I'm going to Auburn or whoever the hell else. That's the only way that could ever happen, to where you're like, listen, you're our guy. We want you. We've been waiting around, but we can't keep this program stuck in neutral. So let us know by this time. All right, cool. We're moving on. Alex Gullish, you're the guy. But that's not where we're at right now. Not even close. I'm with you. The deadline thing, it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. especially when apparently he has deadlines with Arkansas and deadlines with Virginia Tech, and he is putting deadlines on them to get their final offers in. He's got a deadline at Dunkin' Donuts to get his order right. Like, it's just, what are we doing, man?
Well, and to take everything, so if we are to assume this is a real thing, which again we're not, if you just kind of played what that would mean that Arkansas would be telling James Franklin, hey, you have to sign by this day, or we're going to hire Ryan Silverfield. That'll really show you. Hey, Jimmy Sexton, gotcha. We hired Ryan Silverfield. Now you have to go to Virginia Tech for $10 million. It's like, I don't really know how that would be a great move by Arkansas. And it was just why all along we've kind of felt, and again, we are not trying to put a deadline on this, but which is why we've always kind of felt that we were like, hey, we're like a month away from this thing really popping off. And, these conversations were heating up the first weekend of October. And we're like, dude, we literally might be 2 months away. We still might be 3 weeks away. Like, that's very possible. And I think I still kind of have that mentality because of all these characters involved, because of all the variables. Obviously, it would be in Arkansas's best interest to get their coach hired as quickly as possible. And if you're a coach that's getting hired here, whether you're Franklin, whether you're Gruden, whether you're Goalish, whether you're whoever, I could see how you'd maybe want to get started at your next gig. But I don't know if they're in a necessary – when you're making a decision this big, I don't think anybody wants to, feel rushed. And right now is, right ahead of your third to last game on the schedule. I don't know if that's necessarily the time to be pulling out all the stops and putting deadlines on there.
No, and I know we'll get to some other things too, but it's, to me, it's about, the deadlines are about the leverage of what people have. One of the deadlines that just always pop into my head was this kind of full circle, but Malik Monk, when he was being recruited out of high school. Of course, we all know where he went. He went to play for the greatest coach of all time, John Calipari. And it was something to where, it came out of nowhere when he committed and ended up going to Kentucky. And people were like, whoa, what happened here? Well, it's basically like Cal, who's got 5 stars coming out of the wazoo, was like, hey, man, listen, you got to make this decision. If you're coming here, you got to do it. But if not, I got this other guy that I'm going to sign. So you got to make your decision. And kind of pressed him because he had the leverage. Cal had the leverage. He's like, I'll get another 5-star in here. And that's the deal with something like Arkansas or somebody else, is you don't have the leverage necessarily right now that you think you may have. Again, this could be something that transpires, but I'm kind of feeling, guys, is this, maybe you feel differently. Whenever the hire is made, it's going to be at the most random time, at the most random situation, when none of us see it coming, kind of like the Cal thing. And it's just going to happen it'll probably happen on Thursday at 2:48 in the afternoon, just something stupid. And then it's just be like, oh yeah, here we go. I just don't think there's going to be a build up. And then we're like, okay, we know. And then boom, all the things that we thought we knew, we know. I don't think it's going to be that way.
It would be very rare for that to happen, for that to work out that way. I'm still not, and I understand some of the stuff that's out there. I hope I'm wrong. Personally, I'm not expecting anything before Arkansas wraps up the regular season with that Missouri game. I'm expecting something maybe the week after that, but I would love for it to be tomorrow or here very soon. And just for the record, we joke and we've got some jest in here and everything. I hope it's James Franklin. I absolutely hope that it's James Franklin. I actually went back and listened to some of our Making the Case stuff this morning when I was out on my run. And I was like, yeah, that's the one I felt the best about. Because sometimes we have to so we're trying to make the case for somebody, even if we don't believe in it. There have been a couple of those guys where I'm like, this is why it would be okay. But I'm actually pretty bullish on the Franklin thing. So I think that would be cool. And you just hear so much about this, and he's a big name and everything like that. And there might be a couple others out there that folks are pretty excited about, or they think, oh, this would be a good hire. This has got a lot of potential. There's also a lot of names with the way that this has gone. It drags out so long, and your expectations get to a certain point that I wonder what the excitement level will be if it's, say, not a Franklin and they go a different direction. Who else? Honestly, tell me this. Okay, if it's not James Franklin, who do we think of what we feel like are maybe realistic candidates for this job, or guys who have been connected to this job that would get people going, that would excite people? Like we saw Curry Hicks is what I'm hearing would be a 4 out of 10. On the splash scale. Well, what would be high on your splash scale of these folks? Or is it just a whole lot of, okay, sure?
Me personally, I would be pretty excited for Goalish, honestly, just because I think he's a stud, and I would be happy to see what he could do at Arkansas. I don't think the fan base necessarily, if tomorrow they came out at 10 a.m. and they were like, hey, Alex Golesh has been hired as the Arkansas head coach, I don't think the general public would react and be like, hell yeah. I think most Arkansas fans would be bummed out because, again, most of the fan base thinks that the Franklin thing is a done deal right now. So I think that would be a little bit of a disappointment. I think Silverfield, who I think is a solid coach doing a decent job, I think the fan base would be pretty bummed if Silverfield got announced as the coach right now.
Somebody said they were going to go to like great lengths to create a Shiano situation if Silverfield was the hire.
I mean, dude, the fact that he's not in the top 6 of our voting is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, again, because I think everybody's got their own. And as I've said from the very beginning, there's various coaches that I think could do really well here. It's not just one. But, the John Gruden thing is always going to be just because we talked about last night, just the fun, energy, and excitement, which apparently, as according to the Discord, there's a lot of people that are very anti that. Everybody's anti everything. But, Gruden, and one thing that, it's not that it's been mentioned, but like a Lincoln Riley would actually kind of hype me up a little bit, for like him coming back. Yeah. Because me and Kurtz were even talking about it, walking to the basketball game last night. I was like, imagine like him coming back, and because the whole thing was him leaving Oklahoma because he was scared of doing the SEC, and he comes back to the SEC, and then you're like all pumped up, and then you're like, oh man, when's that first game in Norman, Oklahoma? Because like you think like Kentucky fans didn't have. They hate Lincoln Riley over in Oklahoma, like so badly they hate him. And that would immediately cause like, dude, move this game up next year. Like, let's do a trade. Let's trade. All right. Okay. Instead of playing, South Carolina or whoever, let's play Oklahoma. Like that would just be electric. So I think like Gruden, Lincoln Riley, Cliff Kingsbury would be kind of fun just because of the, not to the level of those, but I think it'd be kind of one that's interesting. But yeah, there's James Franklin's still like my number one choice and the one that I would want.
Cliff would be a guy that Hog fans would be more excited than I think I would be.
Yes.
He's maybe the only guy that fits that criteria, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
Besides like Bobby.
Yeah.
Hang on 1 second.
Uh-oh.
I'm just finishing up on the Discord. I'm updating insider intel. Lincoln Riley to Arkansas per John Neighbors. Okay, all right, cool. We can move on now. Yep, there we go.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll expect the tags here soon and everyone yelling at me.
I think Lincoln Riley's one to watch at LSU. He was interested in that job. They had some type of discussion. Maybe it was during the Orgeron year that they hired him, maybe 2019, or I don't know when that was. Maybe I don't know. The years are all jumbled together, but I believe that was like a thing. I could see Lincoln Riley because I don't think he's super happy at USC. I think if he could go back in time, he probably wouldn't have left Oklahoma, frankly.
Do you think Lincoln, if he was getting offers and stuff, he'd go to Muss, be like, hey, Muss, what do you think of the Arkansas gig? What do you think Muss would give real, astounding, great marks for the Razorback athletic department?
That's Lincoln Riley's demand is he says, we have to bring Muss back. Y'all have to fire Cal and bring Muss back.
Not happening.
Me and Muss hated our move to the West Coast. We want to come back.
No, not happening. Well, I tell you what, as part of our Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by our friends over at Alumni Hall, it's the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. They have everything in stock, folks. Like I know everybody loves the great Razorback apparel. Some of you are just, the basic stuff, T-shirts and jerseys and whatnot. Hey, they have those. But they also have high-end clothing, like all the polo shirts that you could possibly want, whether it's Johnny O's, Southern Tide, Columbia. They have the newest and latest and greatest. They have all the latest from Nike, some of the coach wear that you see for football. I can't say basketball anymore because all the coaches are wearing their really beautiful suits. But still, they got all the basketball apparel with warm-ups and practice gear that you could ever check out. So be sure to check them out online and have all the great Razorback apparel shipped directly to your door at InsideArkansas.com/alumni hall. That's InsideArkansas.com/alumni hall. Or you can shop them in store at 3417 North College Avenue. We're going to be there next Friday, by the way, for Inside Arkansas Live. So be sure to come out there as well. It's Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. And guys, the simple question, as I got Andrew in the mid drink there as I came back from it. So I didn't know if that's why I thought maybe you choked on it if that was the case. But either way, it was just a simple one with the coaching search. Is the Razorback football coaching search making you more stressed or more excited as time goes on? Because there could be both, but just which one? Does it make you more stressed or more excited? I'm actually shocked by this. 59%, only 59% say they were more stressed. I was thinking it was going to be like 80% because everyone loses their mind. But 41% of you say that you're more excited about the coaching search as the time goes on.
I'm excited about it, but we talked about this. I've talked to both of you guys about it. I just feel like, let's say even if Arkansas doesn't get James Franklin, it feels to me like they're going to wind up with a good coach. You know what I mean? Like, it might not be the splashiest, the biggest national headlines or whatever, but what is worst case scenario here? Honestly, well, no, I shouldn't say that, because some people would say they retained Bobby, or did you see the last coaching search? I understand all that. It seems to me like the floor, though, for this search would be one of these AAC coaches, like one of these coaches out of the American, whether that's a Silverfield or a Golesh or Eric Morris at North Texas. Like, and again, is that going to win the press conference? Is it going to generate all this, crazy excitement and, oh my God, it's him, let me donate $1 million right away? Maybe not, but I think there are several really, really solid coaches there. And it just feels like I'm playing the numbers game in my mind. Wouldn't one of them probably wind up at Arkansas? So I'm not stressed about it. I think that they're going to wind up upgrading their situation, and some people might be more excited about it than others, but it gets me excited that we're getting into this craziness. The further along we get and the closer we get to something actually happening, it's good for me.
Yeah, mark me down as the more excited category as well. I also just compare it to how I felt when this thing first started. When this thing first started, Bobby Petrino was a very real option that, like, maybe was even the favorite to get the job. And I think we all had a fear deep down of, like, this could be a disaster. This could not go well. They could end up with something that sets them back. And that could still happen. That could always still happen. I mean, you could always be 1 year away from disaster. But I'm with you, Curtis, that I think that we've now reached a point where maybe they get Franklin, maybe they don't. But even if they don't, I think their contingency plans are pretty solid. I think Golesh is a really, really solid consolation prize. I'm not a huge Silverfield guy, but like that's not a type of guy that I'd be like, oh man, how did we end up with this guy? Like that's a perfectly respectable hire in my opinion. And so, yeah, that's like kind of your baseline starting point. I think that's a lot better than I maybe would have expected going in. Because when we went in and we thought about all these jobs that might be open, we thought the candidate pool might be a lot more, thin than it probably is going to end up being. And so I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not super confident they're going to end up with their guy. I'm not even super confident they're going to end up with James Franklin, but I do think they're going to end up with a solid football coach.
Yeah, because to me, and this may be a cop-out way of looking at it, but it's a matter of usually when you fire a coach, not when a coach leaves you, but if you fire a coach, like, are you going – there's always going to be a level of excitement for me if you feel like you get somebody better than the guy that you fired. Now, how much better is up to debate, but I like Ryan Silverfield, is he a better football coach than Sam Pittman? And it's not a slight against Sam Pittman, but I'm like, I could talk myself into saying, okay, well, I think that there's stuff there, the fact that he's been a head coach before, he's had success, something like that. And if that's the worst, then yeah, I feel like it's going to be, I'm excited too, because I'm excited to see how it goes. And I'm excited to see the direction it happens. We
had a couple people I saw in the chat said Jeff Traylor is the floor hire for.
There's no way Arkansas hires Jeff Traylor.
I think that's it's like falling through the floor into the basement type of situation. Like it would really have to go all through. It would have to be a situation where not only was Arkansas's, financial situation still, real low in the SEC or whatever, but it's almost like they cut some funding and it's just like, all right, we just got to get a guy who will come here and
need a body.
No disrespect, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like that would mean to me that they literally just were completely and totally in over the head. They had no idea what they were doing. Like that's one of those things where it's like everyone told them no, not just no, but absolutely not. Get out of my face and never talk to me again. And you're almost like trying to sabotage the program. Maybe that's a little harsh, but just that's the vibe that it would feel like. That's the vibe. Which speaking of, real quick, I wanted to bring up this. This was actually a very interesting tweet from our guy, Peter Burns. But before we do, I want to remind everybody that Drain Masters of Arkansas are the official Drain Masters of Arkansas and of Inside Arkansas here, because they are licensed plumbing and drain cleaning in Arkansas as well as in Oklahoma. Talk to our guy Jacob, awesome dude and awesome people over there at Drain Masters, where they're going to have you covered, whether it's in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, Oklahoma, and beyond. They are ready to handle all plumbing and drain cleaning needs with professional and reliable service, because there's nothing worse than you're just going about your business and living life and suddenly you have an issue with some draining, whether it's in your shower, whether it's in your sink, whether it's in the toilet. Things aren't right, and it's not something that you need to have happening in your home. You need to get it fixed right away. will go ahead and request the services of the Drain Masters of Arkansas. You can call them today at 479-646-5585. That's 479-646-5585. Or if you scan that QR code right there on your screen, it'll also take you to the website where you can request a service there. And it doesn't matter what service you request, you get 10% off. That's right, 10% off all the services. All you got to say is, hey, those fellas, those good-looking dudes over at Inside Arkansas, they sent me over there, and boom, you get 10% off no matter what it is. Anything and everything, plumbing related, no job is too big or too small. Drain Masters of Arkansas has you covered. All right, guys, this was a shout out to Peter Burns because he went back and found these tweets. He was going through the coaching odds and how these odds are always thrown out there, which is always kind of humorous and funny. But he went back into time and got some Brett McMurphy tweets of the 2019 coaching search, Arkansas being one of them. And it's just fascinating to see this. These were the odds for the Arkansas job back on November 11th, 2019. And this is, you just look at the names. Mike Norvell at 2-1, Eli Drinkwitz 3-1, Lane Kiffin. Arkansas ended up with none of those head coaches. But I found it fascinating looking back and kind of going in this time machine of saying, man, we talk about all these names now. And what if it ends up being none of the names that we were talking about, similar to what it was in 2019? But I just found this list fascinating.
Yeah, I'm glad that he pulled that. I saw a number of them that he put out there, and this is crazy. And I guess Norvell, I don't even remember the Bill Clark discussion.
Me either.
Yeah,
I definitely remember
he was 5-1.
Yeah, like I remember a little drink. I definitely remember Norvell and Kiffin, Mike Leach for sure, Gus Malzahn always. But yeah, a couple of those, I was like, damn, were we really talking about that? So,
well, listen, it honestly, one, it's funny to look back on because, like we know, they hired a guy that was completely off the board at like $1 billion to 1, Sam Pittman, a guy that nobody had ever even conceived would be named an SEC head football coach. So that's kind of funny. But also, I think if you're, going back to how you feel about this coaching search, it is kind of nice to look back at this. I mean, think about it. That's the Memphis head coach up at the top. Arkansas could not hire him. That's the App State head coach who had been there for 1 year. Arkansas could not hire him in 2019. Lane Kiffin, of course, couldn't hire him as I guess he was the FAU coach, another kind of group of 5 guy. Mike Leach, they had no chance at getting him. They didn't really get in that mix. I think now, not to say that they could get all of those guys, but they could hire the Memphis coach. They could hire the South Florida coach. Like
they could hire the App State coach.
Situation.
it's true. Yeah, our guy, Old Dowell. He's still available up there at App State.
I guarantee you, Arkansas, if they made a run at the App State coach right now, they could get him.
Yeah. I think you're right.
And the FAU coach, whoever the hell is there.
Yeah, as long as that App State coach brings back Shad, we'll I don't even know if he has eligibility left, but we'll make it happen for him. But still, but it's fascinating, and the reason that, of course, to bring this up is just to show you that sometimes because of the names that seem likely, the names that seem to make sense, the names that seem to be in the mix, aren't that case. And, the thing of when you brought up Mike Leach, Andrew, like the thing I remember, and I could be wrong about this, but from what I remember and what I understood, Arkansas didn't even talk to Mike Leach, didn't even want to give him a conversation at all, because it seemed like he was looking to leave. And I don't care what anybody says, like Mississippi State at the time, you remember they fired Joe Moorhead after 2 years where he went like 6-6 and 5-7. Like, you're fired. Everyone's like, geez, man, like, is that a place you really want to go? What's the expectation there? Obviously, getting Mike Leach worked out, but it's crazy to think where you were and where you're at. And like you said, Curtis, the better position you're in to where, yes, you could hire some of these coaches and be just fine. If Arkansas ends up hiring a coach that's never been a head coach before again, then we just need to burn the program down. Like, we just need to go ahead and just explode it.
Be a tough sell, man.
Mm-hmm. Especially some of the names that are getting floated around. But either way, good times to live back in that history. I wish I could have seen what were the odds of Arkansas's basketball coaching hire after Muss left, and where Calipari was on that is probably not on the list. Yeah, probably not very well on the list. But man, it's crazy. I love coaching searches, but I also hate them. And this one, hopefully we never have another coaching search that's as long as this one ever again. This is absurd how long this is.
Crazy.
And we still have 3 games.
Imagine if we were doing like the making the case stuff during the basketball search, and we had to sit here and John was like, all right, boys, today we're going to make the case for Chris Jans.
Jerome Teddy.
Be about
Darryl
as
Walker. I mean,
Oh.
goodness gracious.
it'd be
Darryl
about as
Walker.
boring.
Hey, Darryl Walker was coming off a good year.
It was.
Yeah, it'd be about as like doing making the case for Chris Jans would be about as boring as watching his basketball teams play. Like
Yes.
that's how boring it would be. But
They got smacked by Iowa State the other day. I don't know if y'all saw that, but good Lord. I know Iowa State's good, but
yeah, I don't know if they're
trouble
if
in
they're
Start
that good.
Vegas.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody's wishing they would have hired Chris Jans instead of John Calipari. Maybe there's one of those out there. I could be wrong, but still, crazy times. We'll get to some of your chats because I know a lot of you got a lot to say, especially when it comes to this coaching search. But I want to remind everybody that Blue Ember Smokehouse is one of our great sponsors here at Inside Arkansas Live, and we know that the holiday season is upon us. Thanksgiving will be here before you know it, just about roughly 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and it's always a big deal. It's a big feast type of holiday that you always have friends, loved ones, family, everybody over to your house, or you go to somebody's house. That's a lot of cooking, though. It's a lot of things. That's a lot of stuff that you have to do and you have to handle. And sometimes it's messy. Sometimes you're always scared of it. What if I mess it up? How's everybody going to yell at me? Well, don't worry about it, because Blue Ember Smokehouse is going to help you out, where they are going to take care of a whole turkey for you that feeds 18 to 20 people for $70. Or if you don't, maybe you're not a turkey fan, that's fine. Well, they have whole hams as well that also feed 18 to 20 people, $65. And say if you don't want the whole turkey or the whole ham, they also have turkey breasts that they can feed 12 to 14 people for $55. So they can provide you with the main course for your Thanksgiving holiday season. They also do catering events like weddings, parties, meetings, all that great stuff. And they also have the sides that you can throw into the pans. You could have half pan or full pan. It's mac and cheese, green beans, potato salad, baked beans, sweet potato casserole. They have it all. So let Thanksgiving be done with Blue Ember. You can call them at one of those phone numbers at those locations that they have across the state of Arkansas, whether it's Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Texarkana, Little Rock, Hot Springs, or Rogers. All the phone numbers listed right there on your screen. Check out their website at blueembersmokehouse.com. Well, no matter what it is, get after it and get some of the great food this holiday season. And thank you for supporting your local Blue Ember Smokehouse.
Okay. We are going to talk about basketball, folks.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I do find it funny that some people are having a hard time comprehending how we led the show with the Arkansas football coaching search with everything that's going on today. When 12 hours ago, we had an hour and a half long post-game show from the UCA basketball game, followed by a 45-minute report card that went out. Like, we got 2.5 hours worth of UCA basketball content. Like, we're gonna talk about it and everything here. But I just don't understand the consternation, man. Like, it's kind of crazy to me.
I get it if it's like, hey, like I'm a baseball guy. Yeah, I wish we could talk baseball. Like, I get it. If you're a basketball guy, oh yeah, you'd probably prefer. But how do you not, like you said, how do you not understand the concept of why we would heavy rumors swirling, all these national guys making up stuff about Arkansas football coaching search, why we would talk about that, and why there's 400 people in the chat. It makes sense, and we will, like you said, we will talk about basketball. We do it every day. You do it every single day, multiple times a day.
Yep. And like I said, I've always laughed about that too, because it's like, like we were talking, me and Curtis were last night, it's like numbers speak for itself, Like if anybody wants us to break down the Arkansas LSU football game, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's not like we're doing that.
Right. Yeah. If we were sitting here doing the, offense versus defense breakdown of LSU versus Arkansas, okay, that would be stupid. We're talking about what people want to talk about. Let's relax.
Yeah, and if you want that, guess what? We do a pregame show presented by SARACEN that's going out on Saturday morning, to where we'll do those full breakdowns for you and really just, really break it down. Break down the breakdowns even. It'll be that level of awesome. So if that's what you're looking for, just wait till then. But yeah, coaching search is hot and heavy on people's minds right now. And speaking of hot and heavy, let's get into the chat, because it's always hot and heavy in there. Super chats always get read first, as we always appreciate it. But our guy Hayden says, I think the deadline is have your guy in to introduce him during the Louisville basketball game.
December 3rd. So yeah, that week, that week right after Thanksgiving.
Yes. Chef's kiss. That has to happen. Like, surely Arkansas is a coach by December 3rd, 1. And 2, that is the game that you bring out, especially coming off that big Duke win for sure. Yeah. It's going to happen.
You might fly the coach up to Chicago for the Thanksgiving game.
Don't kill my vibes though. You know what I mean? Like, if you bring James Franklin out there to call the Hogs and get the crowd going, or bring John Gruden out there to call the Hogs and get the crowd going, but you're just gonna wheel Ryan Silverfield out there, and that's gonna get people more hype for this basketball game. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, if the Bud Walton Arena is filled with people in just nothing but the Discord audience, then man, they're going to be throwing tomatoes out there at him, just going crazy for it. So
y'all think like Cats by 21? He says Cal won't let some football coach steal his spotlight. Yeah, you better have the right hire in there, man. He's not going to let him on his floor.
Exactly. Shout out to STL 1717. Been a member for 5 months. Appreciate you. He says, Curtis, you hearing all this drink isn't that good chatter coming from TMA 101.1 and other STL outlets surrounding drink because he's leaving? Clown emoji, clown emoji, clown emoji.
Yeah, me and my dad have been talking about this. He obviously lives in St. Louis, and they talk about Mizzou over there quite a bit when it's like Cardinals off season. Well, they don't do anything, so you're not talking about them. So it's either that or like the St. Louis Blues. But yeah, that's kind of the spin because like the growing sentiment over there seems to be like they're bracing themselves for drink to leave. And so instead of just being like, damn, he did a good job here and he's trying to move on for greener pastures and we'll figure it out. They're starting to do but was he really that good? Like, yeah, he had the best stretch in Mizzou football program history, but look at his schedules, and he never really won the big game. So they're starting to spin that narrative over there a little bit, which is funny to me, and it's whatever. I
call
hope
that
they downgrade their situation. So
I call that the Bill Burr bit, where it's they're always like, hey, Albert Einstein was a genius. Was he? Was he a genius? It's like kind of the same thing with like what they're doing with Eli. It's like he's a pretty good coach. And but is he? Is he actually a good coach? Hasn't he done these things? Isn't he 0-6 against ranked opponents when he's ranked?
They're going to steal Ryan Silverfield from us. So
my only hope is that he leaves them late enough in the process to where they're kind of getting the raw end of the deal where like he leaves on December 1st and it's like they have to start their coaching search then. That would be tough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why also Arkansas's got to get this sucker done before, because I see a lot of people that'll be like, oh, well, Ole Miss is going to have a thing. Missouri's going to have a thing. It's like, if Arkansas hires their coach in the next 10 days, it ain't going to matter what comes available.
The level of satisfaction I would feel if Bobby Petrino's last game as head hog was beating Eli Drinkwitz in his last game at Missouri, that would be a nice way to go out.
Bobby,
if you're going to have to go out like this, that's the way to do it. Yeah, and then Bobby takes his job.
Dope. I would hate that. I would hate that. I don't want that at all. But I want Bobby to get a win. Just one. We talked about it. I don't think it's going to happen, but it'd be nice.
I think they're going to win Saturday.
John, I actually need you to address something in the chat.
Okay.
So one, our boy Kopesky, he says, "Yo, John, does Bobby P slide you an envelope full of money?"
I do need you to address this.
Do you want to confirm or deny real quick?
Well, the many times that me and Bobby Petrino hang out, there has been envelopes given, but none of them full of cash just yet. Cashier's checks, though, is what we usually do.
Well, he also says that you've been ignoring the fact that TG is Bobby's guy. How many games has TG cost Arkansas this year? I got to be honest, dude. Like, I have no idea what this is a reference to.
I have no idea either. I think it's just something that he decided to like wake up and be like, I'm going to decide that this is something that I feel like John probably said once. So I have no idea.
Read like a comment from like a show 3 months ago where John was like, I like Bobby Petrino. But like genuinely on today's show, I have no idea what this could be referencing.
Like, yeah.
John has nostalgia bias.
Did I miss the John soliloquy about Bobby Petrino today?
I think they're messing with him.
I have to be. I mean, the only thing I can think of is I did a Locked On a couple of days ago of like talking about how Bobby Petrino could throw a wrench into this whole thing if they like won these last 3 games. But I just said that it's like he's not going to do that. But I don't know. I guess I'm standing for Bobby Petrino today, even though his name hasn't been mentioned once. So
I feel like you've low key abandoned Bobby, if anything.
I mean, I kind of have. Like we talked about it. Like I kept saying to everybody.
You were not the ride or die here.
No,
you definitely were a die.
Yeah. Like it was like, hey, it's fun, and I want to see it how it plays out. And if he does well, then hey, I can see him get the job. Well, guess what? He's 0-4, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, but just get a defensive coordinator in, and it'll be fine. Like, no, that's just not the case. It's craziness. So thank you, Kopesky, as always. You're very kind. Good grief, man. Let's see. Oh, I like this from the Swaha guy. Who he said the Virginia Tech insider saying they're inside the 5 on signing James Franklin screams
Dude,
false info.
You were saying, how deadlines are usually a telltale sign of you being full of crap. Using terminology like this, Curtis, can you remember the last time we've heard this term, inside the 5 or at the goal line?
Yeah, Chris Beard.
Oh, did they use that for them? I remember Kendall Briles, OC at Mississippi State. They had
That too. Oh,
whatever
yeah.
that guy at Mississippi State who like dresses up like a bulldog.
Yeah.
He was like, it's at the goal line. Kendall Briles is your new OC.
Yes.
And then and then Kendall Briles like put out the tweet that he was coming back and ended up leaving for TCU, which made it even funnier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Very specific. That's right. Yeah, Chris Beard was the fuel is in the plane. Yeah. And then even I got told by people I thought that would know, it was like, hey, like get your graphics ready, like prepare the live stream kind of stuff. I was like, oh shoot. And then it wasn't a half hour later, we walked out of Hugo's with Bob Holt, and it was like Chris Beard signs a massive extension to stay at Ole Miss.
We were getting ready to watch Muss's press conference at USD, and then we got that notification. We're like, damn, that sucks.
I was like, oh, okay. Clubber Tang it is.
Keith Carter was like tweeting out like the ball sack emoji and everything. It was crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, again, it goes back to how many times, at least here at Arkansas, especially as a coaching search, been something to where it's like, hey, it's at the goal line. And then they cross the plane and it actually ends up happening. Never, because that's not how these things work. It's not how it's not the terminology. It's not how it's being used. Like there's no agent talking to a media member being like, hey, yeah, let's let you know, ma'am, we're at the goal line here, 5 yards out, 3rd and 10, but we got 3rd and goal, but you got a great play call made and we're about to get right in there. Just, he's got to finish the final 2 pages of the contract before he signs. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Again, not how it works. Let's see. Can't believe somebody remembered this. Count says, I just need a guy that results in John saying holy Santa balls or whatever he said when Cal was hired. I forgot about that, but yes. Santa Claus balls from the live stream. But yeah, that was a time on it. There's more people that have watched that live stream. That might be our most like rewatched thing ever that we've ever done at Inside Ours or with /Natty State was that. Because
good times.
Oh yeah, it was good times. Let's see. Also, there was another one too. Oh yeah, because like again, Swahawk saying like, remember Major Applewhite talk? I don't remember that. Was that a thing?
Disgusting.
Yeah,
maybe. I wouldn't. Sure. I wouldn't doubt it.
Somebody's uncle liked Major Applewhite once. That's
that was talking the same way that Kirby Moore or something was maybe. Yeah.
Jeez, man, that's absurd. We'll continue to get to your chats. We'll also have heavy hitters and some basketball talk here as well. But want to remind everybody that, of course, the official law firm of Inside Arkansas is Hickey and Hull Law. If I can get you out of here, Swahog, you're not allowed to be on here during the live read. But here, divorce, custody cases, criminal cases, all that great stuff. That is something that you always need to have help with. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's hard to go through. Sometimes you want to make sure that you're doing everything right. Well, you don't want to do it alone. So have Hickey and Hull Law help you out because they've handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that may come up. And they understand that it's crucial to their clients to keep them updated on their cases and that they are available to provide that advice and counsel throughout the entire process because they will take time to meet with the clients, respond to emails, always return your calls. The communication will always be open and it'll always be direct. And it'll always be quick. So have Hickey and Hull Law offices across the state of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, Armenia. It doesn't matter where. Have them help you out today by calling them at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can also check out their website at hickeyandhull.com. Scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you right there to it. It's Hickey and Hull Law. Things are about to get better. Was there something that I missed in the chat there?
Oh, I like this right here. Rowland Powers, y'all keep lip smacking on coaches.
If we don't buy players, it does not matter. Patrino with a hand bought players as good as any coach out there. Sure.
Keep bumping them gums, smacking them lips on this talk show.
Yeah. Just, it's incredible, man. Again, it's one of those ones I'm wondering if he's talking to the chat or if he's talking to us or whatever, but lip smacking. I don't know if that's
like we're more pro coaching. Like all of the coaching candidates, we've literally made the case for all of them. So I feel like of all the people that lip smack coaches. I mean, we're very high on James Franklin. We think Alex Golish would be a solid hire. We made the case for Ryan Silverfield. Like, what more could we have possibly done? We've made the case for Petrino. We even rode the Petrino thing as long as we possibly could. Like, we gave the dude benefit of the doubt time after time. And, like, I don't know what coaches we've been – even when they've lost games, we haven't been like, oh, Bobby sucks. Like, it's not Bobby's fault. We just don't think he's going to get the head coaching job, which isn't a crime.
He is right, though. And we preface every conversation about these guys with, will this guy get the support? Will he have the financial backing? Like, does the James Franklin package? How could I rephrase that? Does the financial package you have for James Franklin extend? Does it go to the next guy on the list? Yeah. There's no good way to say that, but you're picking up what I'm putting down here.
Will you still give Alex
have the same fundage? Yeah.
Just clip that and just let that one roll. That's outstanding. Yes, but yes, we do know what you're talking about. You know what you're referring to there. I did find this interesting. I think Tucker, said it in the very beginning. He says, "Will be an Arkansas media break the hire or national guy?" I think national, personally.
Usually.
Yeah.
Because and I know everybody's like, well, it didn't happen with Cal. You're right. And that was very rare.
Yes.
There are a lot of Arkansas media guys who are plugged in, but not a lot of them like really make their living reporting breaking news. Like Trey Biddy's very plugged in. I wouldn't say Trey Biddy's like a big breaking news reporter. He's never made that his thing. Both of you guys are very plugged in. I wouldn't say y'all are like big breaking news guys. And so it's like, I think the people in Arkansas media that like could or would break this big story are not going to be the ones.
Also, and it's coaching search stuff is different. Like, you have to have different types of sources for coaching search types. Like, this is different than recruiting. You know what I mean? Because you can talk to AAU coaches and, folks who know kids and people like within the program and stuff. For a coaching search, it's like, dang, I got to know the folks with the money. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, you either know the folks with the money or you need to know the agents that are representing the coaches. Like, those are the ones that will give you the info the best.
Jimmy Sexton's not returning my phone calls, so
yeah, I know. He's listed in the phone book and everything. He's just hopefully he gets back to you at some point. Switching over to a little basketball news, I shout out to Razor Smacks Davis. Says JJ Andrews officially a Hog. I saw this news. Yep, former.
Now Cal can say his name out loud.
Yeah, exactly. Officially official. I'll be excited for him to get asked about JJ, and I know Abu Torre is getting ready to sign. A week from today, you'll have Baba, so it's coming along. Nicely.
I can't wait for that. It's just funny. What's JJ's actual name?
Jay Sean.
Isn't his middle name start with a J too? I know I'm asking about his like birth certificate here, but like,
oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just curious if that was where it came from or something else. But either way, also Finch says, Curtis, you uncovered for me to continue to have some hope. I called minimum 8 points and 5 rebounds. My man had 10 points and 5 rebounds and 1 turnover.
Hey, he if anybody took that prop on Bet Saracen last night, I think it was over 5.5 points, over 4.5 boards, I think is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that cashed in pretty nicely. So for all those people hating on him for his efforts out there, he won a lot of folks' money. So you might put a little bit of respect on his name. Okay.
Bro's a cash cow.
But it is, I mean, listen, he showed, I think, some spurts of, trending in the right direction or whatever. I think people might get the wrong idea about Ewan sometimes because you see a guy that looks like he's not giving max effort and you're like, oh, he doesn't care or he has a bad attitude or whatever. Everyone that I've talked to tells me that they love him over there. Like, really good dude, great teammate. The players on the team love him and hang out with him. The coaching staff really enjoys him. They're just trying to get him to level up the intensity. And I don't know how you coach that by trying to force feed it to him or you bench him and see if that motivates him. Like, they're still trying to figure that out. But it is interesting that you have a guy who's that talented and he's just having a hard time harnessing it to the point where, John, you were sitting right beside me when Cal was screaming energy in his face as he's subbing him into the game. And then afterwards in the press conference, he said straight up, he was like, hey, I want to play our two bigs together more. I think it looked good out there. They're both bought into what we're doing. We just got to get Malik to play harder. And if I'm a guy in his position, I'm hearing all that said about me, I'm like, all right, I got to pick it up, man. So hopefully that stuff motivates him. We'll see.
Yeah, it's to me, it's one of the biggest insults. Maybe not insult, but just if you're a player on the court and you're getting yelled at about not having energy, like that to me is almost like, seeing someone telling you don't know ball type of thing. You're like, hold on, man. I got energy. I got so much energy. I do have energy. Like it's the one thing you just can't be accused of not having when it comes to playing in major sports. In any sport is not having energy. You got to have it. Let's see. Also, I'm not reading that one. Let's see the Cats by 21. He's going off. He says starting and playing Brandon Garrison 25 minutes a game is disgraceful.
I'm glad we agree on something.
It's
Shout out
that's
to
one of the
the
few things,
T4, man.
Yeah, Cats by 20. Cats by 21's going. He's going through it right now, man.
He is. The best thing that could happen to Kentucky would be that they get the Quaintance kid healthy, and then they play Moreno as his backup, and then Garrison's just kind of there for moral support or whatever.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Also, man, Cats. He's saying Pope is showing consistent, alarming signs. His teams are weak. Man,
people are talking.
An exhibition loss to Georgetown, and then this to Louisville. Man,
I also saw him say that he misses Cal.
No way. He had to be trolling.
Yeah.
No, come on now. Come on now. I don't believe this. That's wild. That is wild. Also, where was there was another? Oh yeah, because I saw it. Yeah, Cats. He says I miss the old Cal and current Cal. Yes. Good grief, man! It's been 2 games. Like
the best way for Cats here to get recognized on our show is by dissing his own team like this.
True.
We'll pull up every chat that you have.
You don't even have to. It doesn't even have to be a super chat. Like we'll just pull it up, man. It's like we'll make it happen for you. That's awesome. That's outstanding.
Bro's out here begging for crumbs, man. That's crazy. But we do need to clear up the Cats by 21 / Cats by 90 issue, because last night I did see there are 2 separate accounts. Which, by the way, was our membership thing. Cats by 90 is a member of someone got him a membership. Cats by 21 does not have a membership. You remember that day that we thought he canceled his membership? Cats by 90 is the one who has it. Those are 2 separate people.
Yeah. Well,
or at least 2 separate accounts, I should say. Maybe not 2 separate people, but 2 separate accounts.
I saw him arguing about this earlier, or talking about it maybe earlier. I still don't know what's going on.
About which part?
Like if what that situation is.
Oh.
Who's who? We need, honestly, like I see. And listen, we hype him up for doing a really good job, and we're very happy to have him. But like intern Cameron, I just figured he would have this case solved by now. That's all.
Yeah. What are we paying for you for, Cameron? Like, come on. Like, what are you doing over there? Just sitting around.
The chat
versus Cats by 21.
He has saved us so much time, effort, and frustration by organizing this chat, and he can't tell us which Kentucky fan is which.
Oh, it's just disgusting. But in all honesty, shout out to intern Cameron, because I got 2 great compliments about intern Cameron actually last night. I wasn't going to tell him because I don't want his head to get too big because he's already flying too high. But people like intern Cameron. So
you see how we just did the good cop, bad cop thing? Yeah,
that's how it works, man. Yeah, it's a good system in place. But also, real quick, shout out to the guy that I met last night who introduced me out to you, Andrew, by his Discord username, and I'm like, there it is. Yeah, it was it's like Rob Walton's nephew or whatever it is in the Discord. Anyways, that was him. So look at that. See, we're meeting people right and left.
Since we're shouting out people for their usernames, I want to shout out Smitty, one, for this great comment, the great Catsby, because Cats by 90. But I'm also fairly sure this is the Smitty who just gave me great tickets last night, like an hour before the game. I came on here begging. I came on this very program begging for tickets. I literally just drove to the arena and was like, I'll figure it out when I get there. And right as I was getting parked, he hits me up and was like, hey, here's 2 tickets that happen to be in very solid seats. And I was like, thanks.
Yeah, there you go. We got some very, very charitable people that consume our content. It's always appreciated. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and get into our heavy hitters here on Inside Arkansas, because we know that it's presented by our friends at HD Roofing and Construction. Storms can hit at crazy times all the time here in the state of Arkansas. Well, make sure you're prepared for it. Make sure you're ready to go, because there's nothing that is worse than having to handle the cleanup, having to handle the damage, having to handle all the issues that go on whenever your roof ends up being damaged or leaking or anything like that. Have them at HD Roofing and Construction give you a free inspection. They'll come out and they'll tell you, hey, your roof's good to go. No harm, no foul. We'll move on. Guess what? It's still free. But they'll also come out and tell you, hey, if you need some repairs here, or if you even need a whole new dadgum roof right now, they're going to tell you, and they'll get it taken care of for you because they rely on the professionalism, the top quality materials, and the expert installation for each and every one of your roofing needs. So give them a call today. They have a Northwest Arkansas office as well as a Central Arkansas office. But if you're in Northwest Arkansas, call them at 479-957-1928. Or their Central Arkansas office at 501-428-0429. You can also check out their website at hdarkansas.com. It's hdarkansas.com, HD Roofing Construction in our heavy hitter segment. So, guys, I'll go ahead and kick it off with my heavy hitter. Just to give a shout out to Pat Kelsey. Now, really, just a really good, great game. Did I take yours, Curtis? I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
All right. Yeah, that's. But I wanted to give a shout out to him. Because there was a lot going on where he apparently was being reported that he was giving high fives to the kids in the student section, which was unheard of according to some. They're just like, yeah, Kentucky. Some Kentucky fans are like, this is just obviously their Super Bowl. He's over there high fiving students. But then he dances in the locker room. Apparently celebrated so hard that he dislocated his finger during the press conference. I don't know, man. Like, what were you doing? But you know what? That just shows you that. Hey, big wins and big rivalry games, especially because let's be honest, Louisville has not had a whole lot of success against Kentucky, mainly due to John Calipari, who is, of course, the Arkansas coach now. But, there's just something about it, and it was great to see that. It's great to see that energy, great to see a really good team and us to get a look at a team that Arkansas is going to be facing here in a very short amount of time in Fayetteville. So good for him, man. Louisville's a good team, strong team. Obviously, just destroyed an inferior opponent and took care of business. So shout out to Pat Kelsey in Louisville. He made it happen, man.
Curtis, is your heavy hitter Louisville related as well?
No, I mean, it was going to be, but I had a backup plan, so we're good.
Okay, well, mine is Louisville related, and I maybe have a backup plan, but can I just go ahead and do my Louisville? Yeah. I thought I was going to be the funny one here. We talk a lot about Arkansas's freshmen who are very good, and we love watching them play. Got to look at them last night. Love that. I think we also got to acknowledge there's some really good freshmen in college basketball. And I say that seriously. Like every single night I watch college basketball and I see a freshman that's just unbelievable on some random team. Have y'all seen that kid at Virginia Tech? I don't even know his name.
Wow.
He's like
Neo.
Oh my God, he is unbelievable. He literally looks like Luka out there. He's balling. But I want to shout out Mikael Brown. Guard at Louisville, freshman. Arkansas is going to get an up close and personal look at him versus Darius Acuff, him versus Malik Thomas. That is going to be a really intriguing matchup. But last night they were playing an in-state opponent, the Louisville Cardinals were, and throttled them huge. Got up 20 late in the game. The final score was like closer than it actually was. I think the final score they won by 8, but really Louisville, they were up by 20 a few minutes before the game ended. So, a blowout loss last night. Or a blowout win last night for Louisville. And Mikael Brown, they're big-time freshman, 29 points, 5 assists, 1 turnover. I also want to shout out an Illinois big man by the name of Zavana Mirovicic. Y'all remember the cat. Had a nice little game last night, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, knocked down a couple threes. I think he was 4 for 7 from the floor. Really good stuff from Big Z. I guess his brother is banged up or something. His brother didn't play last night.
He got his tonsils taken out, and then he's got something else going on, like a knee or something.
Gotcha. Well, really good win for Illinois over another team that Arkansas is going to have to face, Texas Tech. Like to see that. But good to see Big Z. He's having a pretty solid year so far.
I now have no heavy hitter.
Oh, damn. Was Big Z going to be your guy? That was
Sorry,
your
HD Roofing and Construction. I got nothing.
No way.
I was going to stand for Big Z. The only reason why was because I mean, hell, he just had 11.7 boards and 3 blocks with a couple made threes against Texas Tech. Would have been nice to do that the last time you played him.
Seriously.
But he didn't. Must be the glasses. Shout out to the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas. No, that was my backup plan.
I have a question for you, Curtis.
I got one. No, I do have one.
Go ahead.
Easy, though. Because it's honestly, we talked about it plenty last night, but we haven't really brought it up much today. I mean, Carter Knox, right? Carter Knox for the worst game of his career against Michigan State. I think that might be fair to say. And then arguably his best. I mean, he was awesome. Set the tone right out of the gates. He had the double-double, the first of his career, 18 and 10. He hit 4 threes, which was awesome to see. And then I know, John, I know you posted the clip. I should have pulled it up. I didn't think I was going to get this deep in the heavy hitter bag.
Stand by.
Working on it here. But he had some good comments in the post-game press conference. I love it when guys just show their confidence up there. And I thought Carter Knox did that. Okay, perfect. Good timing.
I played at Michigan State. I came out the gate. What I had at halftime? Yeah, 14-7. I was trying to get every rebound. My goal was really trying to get 20 and 20. Yeah. I was trying to get out there every board, because it's just the Michigan State loss. That's a game that we should have won. If I played like what I did today, we would have won that game.
Love that. Yeah, that's good stuff. 20 and 20. That's what I wanted, every rebound. And I like when it's always easy to go back in hindsight after a close loss and be like, yeah, we should have won that game. But I like when guys just come out and say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're not content with that. We're not happy about that. So that was good.
Yeah, especially it's not even necessarily. I mean, he is right in that if he had played the way he played, Arkansas wins. But
yep.
And I was hard on him after the game. It really isn't as simple as Carter cost Arkansas the game. But I'm glad that he does feel that way and that he takes it and wears that accountability. That's what you want to see out of a guy who's maturing and becoming a leader.
John, were you in? You might have still been looking at the press conference and getting some of the clips in producer John mode last night. But did you see when we were going through the super chats on the post game when our buddy Brett kept sending us super chats and he was talking about Carter, but he was like Cater with a C, and then he corrected it and it was like Cater with a K, and he's like, sorry, 6-packs in me, boys.
I didn't see that.
That's great. Really funny, man.
Cater Knox. That is kind of a cool name too. Carter Knox is cool, but Cater Knox would be a great one too. No, I was and it's so funny because I tweeted out at this, I forgot at what point he had. I know he said he had 14 and 7 at halftime, but he had 10 and 5 in the first 6 minutes of the game.
He got after it.
And I tweeted out, I was like, man, Carter Knox going for Arkansas as a single game scoring record tonight. And some idiot later just tweets back at me. He's just like, oh yeah, good call there, John. It's
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. It's just thank you. I appreciate it.
Another heavy hitter could be whoever the kid was that made the layup and beat the 1 minute buzzer for UCA to cash that both teams score in a minute double R prop yesterday. So.
Oh, dude. I had the first half over 76.5 and Arkansas fouled DJ Wagner makes 2 free throws, 55 seconds left. A 3-point foul that gets 4 points, and then Malik Ewan dunk cashed it. They ended up with 77 points exactly. Needed a perfect sequence of events there. That was awesome.
Yeah. The last night was pretty good on the betting side too, because I was sweating it. Because I did the minus 35.5. And in the first half, I was like, you idiot. And then they got up to that 36-point mark and started flirting with it a little bit, but they ended up coming through in the clutch. So that was great. Also, I guess since today's signing day and all that stuff, I know JJ Andrews signed, but I guess also officially Abdou Toure signed. So we got that one. He sent the fax in, the signature and all of that.
Providence still in shambles.
Providence. He's from Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Providence. Who would want to be a friar?
Friar.
Yeah, imagine wanting to be a friar instead of a Razorback. I mean, who would ever want something like that?
So it's so cold in Providence right now.
Yeah. Providence is fun though. I bet it is cold as hell there.
Curtis, I have a question for you though. I've been meaning to bring this up for a while.
Oh boy. Okay.
The big kid from Texas Tech, Darian Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Did he end up going pro? Where did he end up at?
Buddy, he is playing for the American gangster Will Wade.
No way, at NC State?
It's at NC State.
Damn.
Yeah.
Watching, I was thinking about Texas Tech last night, and I'm like, man, they could use him.
Do you see they got a guy that's like the poor man's version of him now?
Yeah.
Watts? He's like, yeah.
Which, I mean, he did, I think he had 21 last night or something like that. Toppin went off too.
Yeah, what do he have, 35 and 11 or something? And he was 17 of 25 from the field. I don't even know. I got to be honest with you guys. Arkansas ain't got nothing for that dude.
He's going to cook. Arkansas might beat Texas Tech, but he is going to cook.
Exactly. I mean, he did that last night and they lost, so it's not like a deal breaker for Arkansas there, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. So
they'll be ready. They'll get it taken care of. They'll take care of business there too. Also, I wasn't going to play the clip, but just really fun too as well. I've been hearing it in my mind all like night and even into this morning of, so get fouled. As Cal liked to draw it out. Stop shooting threes. Why are you shooting threes? Drive the ball. And then juggling balls. Like, I mean, it was just so many great ones. There were so many great ones.
I love how it was Isaiah Sealy that got him all riled up. It's just a pretty standard, going through the motions answer, and he's talking about Sealy, and he just loses it for a minute.
Yeah, as one would, obviously, one would. So, all right, we'll get to your chats. Also have a recruiting update with our guy Dudley here in just a little bit too, but want to remind everybody here on Inside Arkansas that we're presented by our friends over at Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, because let's be honest, Christmas is around the corner. We know Thanksgiving's next, but Christmas is really where it gets crazy and gets fun for everybody involved. So if you want to have your house lit up this holiday season, you better get on it. You better text our good friend of Brett over at 479-459-1380, because when you text him, he's going to get you a free estimate of how amazing your house can look in lighting up the neighborhood this Christmas season. If you're in Northwest Arkansas or River Valley, just remember, they provide the materials. They get you any color, any pattern that you need. They install the lights. Free maintenance throughout the holiday season. Takedowns happening in January. They do it all. So go ahead and give our guy Brett a text again at 479-459-1380. It's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts. All right, so getting into some more of your chats, folks, as I'm sure you're all very sane and just chilling and having a good time. Like, our guy Dre for Super Chat. Appreciate you, Dre. He goes, heavy hitter is a student who dared get in the way of Brazil's towel. Yes, let's hope that he's okay in his recovery. I've talked with Curtis last night, but still, again, I still think it's funny. It shouldn't have happened. Still think it's funny. The funniest thing is just he got hit that his hoop head got knocked off. That's still my favorite thing. It's like, just that thing's tight. I remember they had those things they gave them out in the student section when I was there. Those things aren't easy to just fly off the handle. So the fact that it just happened that way was pretty impressive. But yes, there's that. Also, shout out to real John Beckman, who apparently gifted an Inside Arkansas membership. Don't know why.
Wow, that was very nice of you, Beckman.
Yeah. What got you in the giving spirit? Was it Christmas?
That's the type of troll that I respect, right? That's very good.
Gonna pay for somebody else to be a member of all of that. Yeah, we appreciate it. Let's see. Noah B. Hoggs says we would have been better off with any of those.
That's from the 2019 thing. Okay.
Is that what that is? I was wondering I was hoping you guys would know, but yes. Okay, cool. I was not going to say the number. 7 or 6. Let's see. Also, Trey wants to know, Curtis, how was the run? No cramps yet.
The run's done. It happened. Some years are easier than others, man. This is a tough one. Sometimes I'm prepped for it a little bit. You kind of stretch out the runs leading up to it and stuff, and you feel pretty good. Kind of hard to do with the little fella. I can't be away from home too long, so was not prepared today. No cramps yet, but I am not entirely sure I'm going to be able to stand up from this chair and move after this. So might just hang out here.
You need to be
Michelle, bring me my baby. And we'll just
you
sit
need to
here.
be running with Wes like a football. Have him tucked high and tight.
I started wearing them around. I got a couple of those little baby backpack things, and yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, poor Wes. If you started running with him in that backpack and he's just like jumping around doing that, I was like,
he's already a bobblehead, so
yeah. He'll get his own workout in for sure. Hey, Shop Fishman, he gifted 5 Inside Arkansas memberships. So yeah, look at you.
Awesome.
I think he might have been the recipient of Beckman's, and so then he was like, "Oh, cool," and then he, paid it forward.
No, very nice. Well, appreciate you, Fishman. It's always nice. Giving spirit.
You have appeased the karmic gods by doing that, Fishman.
Yeah. Malik Acuff says, I love when John tries to change to the corny white voice, but it sounds the same. Man, it's true. I do have a very corny white voice, as I've been told. So, but thank you.
Why is John getting a lot of disrespect in the chat?
I don't
Not
know,
that, I'd prefer better him than me, honestly, but usually when we're getting attacks, I feel like it's me, but John's getting a lot of targeted attacks today. It feels like the old days.
I know. Yeah. It feels like the good old days when things were right in the world, and John was the one that was getting things thrown at him, whether it's his, because like I saw that somebody in the Discord is listed as John's makeup kit. And I'm like, what is happening? like just stuff
We
like
also
that.
got Jane Neighbors in the Discord too.
Yeah, Jane Neighbors.
Hey, on the Michigan State post-game show, I was getting makeup allegations, John. So
finally, yeah, it's like it was all start because I got a new camera and everyone's just like, oh, geez, John, why? I'm like, sorry for being pretty. Like,
wow,
man, what do you want me? Yeah, what do you want me to do about it? Fishman says paying it forward, so it was him. So that's doing it. So yeah, that's what we like to see. Let's see. Also, I don't know who's highlighting this, Cameron, if it's you, but Kopesky also says breaking news. It was neighbors on the back of Bobby's Harley, not the blonde volleyball player. It's
Kopesky has since been given the timeout because he Curtis, you want to guess which basketball player he asked about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not Paulo, but of the same vein.
Oh,
he wanted an update on retail, and I was just like, okay,
yeah.
He's got a new neck tat. I saw.
Yeah, he looked sharp last night. He looked dialed in.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's always had that. He's got like the wings on the back of his neck now. So
I don't. Well, that's the thing is when we were sitting, Curtis, we always knew it, but like it's amazing to see just how insanely large that staff and like everybody involved in the team is. It's like no wonder they had to have new seats. It's like they got like 4 teams worth of staffing over there. But yeah, it's massive. It's crazy. All right, so we'll get what's up.
Sorry, one more here because I remember us talking about this. Did you take note of Kenny Payne's coaching? No, I didn't. And we talked about it before the game. Me and John are sitting there. I was like, all right, I got to pay attention to this. And I didn't. And that's on me. Okay? Like I'll hold myself accountable here because I was watching the bench more than the game in the beginning because this wasp was terrorizing Trevin Brazil and Team Martell, honestly. And they weren't focused on the task at hand because of what was going on there. But no, I did not watch Kenny Payne. And that's my bad. I got to be better.
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, the wasp was great. That was really funny. Luckily, no one got stung. But also, too, I feel like it's like obviously Cal does the most, but is it Chuck Martin's probably the second most like vocal?
Chuck and Chin are both, yeah, they're both active there.
Okay. We just need to bring back up the Vice documentary of Kenny Payne. Come on, guys. Let's get after it. I just like there in the locker room. That was awesome, man. All right, so we'll get to your final chats and everything, but want to make sure we do a recruiting update presented by our friends over at Goat Lab Red as well as Goat Lab Brewery. Don't forget, not only is it a place to go to for all of your pregame, during the game, post-game action with their new location there at 1214 North Garland Avenue, where you can get signature brews, signature burgers, all the great food, big TVs, you can watch all the games. But they also have the Grove Comedy Club up there in the Lowell location, next door to the Lowell location of Goat Lab Brewery. And they have DL Hewley coming to town. They have always a great lineup of great comedians that are coming in. But the latest one and the newest one and the one that's coming up, DL Hewley, tickets are on sale. All you got to do is go to goatlabbrewery.com or thegrovecomedy.com, and it'll take you right there to where you can purchase tickets, see all the great events that they have coming up. It's awesome to see some of the great shows that you can take part in, especially at a great spot like Goat Lab Brewery in Low. So again, check them out today at thegrovecomedyclub.com, or you can check out Goat Lab Red for a great lunch where you'll see our faces play each and every day, 1214 North Garland Avenue in Fayetteville. And with that being said, let's hear from Dudley Dawson on his recruiting update presented by Goat Lab Red.
Covering recruiting and the transfer portal for the Razorbacks. This is Inside Arkansas Recruiting with Dudley Dawson.
Welcome into this Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast update presented by Goat Lab Brewery. I'm your host, Dudley Dawson. We've got news of Arkansas continuing to go out and trying to get some people that'll get after the quarterback next season. Big development last night. Bryant's Matthew Nelson, who's an Oklahoma commit, 2026 guy, 6'5", 225-pound edge rusher. Who also had offers from Missouri, Mississippi State, Cincy, South Florida, Houston, and he got one from Alabama on September 4th. He got an offer from Arkansas last night from interim head coach Bobby Petrino. He's a consensus 3-star recruit, has 51 tackles, 22 tackles for losses, 21 quarterback pressures, 7.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble this year. So you can see that he gets after the quarterback. As I said, that offer came Tuesday night from interim Arkansas head coach Bobby Petrino. They also continued their looks into the junior college. Ranks Taylor Schaefer, a linebacker, 6'4", 238, midterm grad. He's from Wisconsin. He's a Wisconsin native. He's one of about 10 linebackers, edge rushers, and secondary guys that Arkansas has offered. In this last week or so, he'll visit on the last game of the year, the game with Missouri on November 29th. He's already set up that interview. He's got 90 tackles this year, gotten after the quarterback as well. So as you can see, Arkansas has offered 2 guys that get after the quarterback. That appears to be what they're doing a lot these days.
All right, there you have it. There's Dudley Dawson of Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast, giving his update, presented by Goat Lab Red. See, he's in the Christmas spirit, as he already has his Christmas tree up, and appreciate him of coming off of his knee surgery, which was successful. I know he's feeling a little bit better, so be sure to check out all of the latest with Inside Arkansas Recruiting. And once there's a coach hired, we know that Dudley's going to be extremely busy when all that goes down with transfer portal and all that good stuff. So appreciate that. All right, a few more of your chats, which we really appreciate. Everybody tuning in. You know, I did something bad. I highlighted one and then I unhighlighted it and I can't find it. But either way, it was just asking about the coaching search and about our confidence in Arkansas hiring somebody that's good. And I think we already kind of talked about that a little bit. But I just want, like, would you guys rather? We'd all rather it be like today when they hire a coach, right? Like, we want it to happen now, right? Yeah. If we could prefer,
I would love for it to happen now. I just don't think it's realistic unless it's Franklin.
Yes,
Gruden, right? I just,
like,
if it's a sitting head coach, that's just not. How can I say this without pissing a bunch of people off? I can't. A sitting head coach, I don't think is going to quit on his team in the middle of the season for the Arkansas job.
Yeah. Nor, by the way, should he. Frankly.
Yeah,
and like, I understand it has happened before. I remember Tom Herman when he was at Houston and he took the Texas job. He did the last 2 games at Houston. They got upset in both of those games, and the narrative coming out was, oh, he knew he was going to LSU, and so he kind of just started, letting go of the rope or whatever. And everyone accepted that as a thing. Is that not a massive red flag? Like, if you are hiring Alex Galesh and he just like completely quits on his team and he's like, hey guys, or he stays and coaches and sucks in those games, like, isn't that kind of like a weird thing? Like, why would you, even if, I know you want to get him in here and you want to recruit and all that, but it's like, that would be a bad look. That I wouldn't feel great about that, frankly.
No, I wouldn't. But at the same time, guys, the last great football coach Arkansas had quit on his team in the middle of the season to become the Arkansas coach, Bobby Petrino. So maybe that's the key, and maybe it's the key ingredient to success is just the coach needs to quit. But I'm with you. It's like if you told me, hey, Arkansas is going to hire a coach this weekend, I'm like, well, probably James Franklin or John Gruden, just because they just don't see that happening at any other college in this point. So unless it was like an offensive coordinator too, which even then I'd be like, be strange. So Will Stein or whoever gets thrown out. Let's see. Oh, I don't know what the name is. I'm just reading. He says, Jan, saw you with my boy, the friendly ghost, last night. Yes, got to meet Casper. He was a good guy. So, that was his name.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting with my boy, Grant Smith. Appreciate him and the tickets last night. Ryan says, if you're Franklin, don't you want to get hired ASAP and start recruiting immediately?
Perhaps, but here's what you also want: to get every single dollar.
He's right. What he was saying there. I mean, he's the longer Franklin sits on this, the more leverage he has, the more his price is going to get driven up because there's schools that are involved with him now. People think that Virginia Tech and Penn State are the main ones, but as some of these other coaches leave and take other jobs, and if an Ole Miss opens up or if a Missouri opens up or whatever, then he's only going to have more options, and it's just going to create a bidding war. It's like the same thing with kids hitting the transfer portal. So the longer he holds out, the better. And I think James Franklin is a guy who already had a pretty strong recruiting class in place. He probably has a pretty good handle of, okay, if I get this job, I know that I'm going to be able to take this amount of guys with me from my freshman class. And now the transfer portal doesn't even open until January. So there's not as much urgency for a guy like that to make a decision early in the year, I don't think.
I would also say that just like in a nutshell, yes, he does want to get started soon, but it's not at the expense of I want to get started, so I want to just go ahead and just skip all the negotiations. I don't really care about like he does want to get every single dollar owed to him. He wants to make sure he's making the best decision, wants to review all of his options. I don't think he's so desperate to get started at his next job that he would just forego that whole process. Like, I think he's going to be very careful with how he operates here.
Yeah. And I just don't know how much he's like poking Jimmy Sexton and be like, hey man, we hurry this up. I'm trying to coach right now. Like, is that what he's doing? Is he like putting pressure on his own agent and be like, hey, let's get this going. Let's go. I don't know. But it could be something that he's just letting Jimmy Sexton do all the negotiating. I don't know. But but I think it's a good question at least. So, well, guys, any final thoughts? Any final chats that we missed out on? Anything like that?
Got nothing.
My only final thought would be that we're not that upset, even though it sounds like we're complaining all the time, and we're not trying to like rain on everyone's parade.
You're wasting your breath.
We're just kind of talking about what we think is going to happen, and so I hope that we did not rub people the wrong way. I will say I'm proud of our chat. I noticed I had an epiphany today that our chat is smarter than the average Arkansas Razorback fan.
There you go. Well, it can't be a very uneventful day unless you learn something. So that's always good. But my thing is, I hope we made you all mad, and I hope we upset you all. That's what I hope for. Actually, I'm just kidding. But still, it's fun. This is all fun. We all love talking and discussing and going through all the scenarios that could happen, whether it's coaching searches or Razorback basketball. It's a fun time of year, very busy time of year, and we're always going to have it all right here in Inside Arkansas, no matter what it is. So be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page. You can also check us out on social media at Inside Arkansas, but you can also follow our podcast on an audio version, wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, the Bombastic Podcast, Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast, even Inside Arkansas Football as well. We're going to have it all right here on Inside Arkansas. That'll do it for us today. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson and intern Cameron, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you.